tomorrow is the day that Real ID will finally be enforced. It's been a law that's been in place for over 20 years. 81% of the travelers that travel by airline in the United States today are already compliant.
So the countdown is on. Midnight tonight, Americans must have a real ID to board domestic flights, or they could face enhanced security screenings. Other acceptable forms of ID are going to include a U.S. passport, a passport card, or enhanced driver's license. This is a move that's coming as Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says a 90-second radar failure was the cause of the chaos at Newark Liberty International Airport last week.
We have really old infrastructure in America. It hasn't been updated in the last 30, 40 years. This should have been dealt with in the last administration. They did nothing.
So multiple FAA employees went on government-permitted trauma leave following that incident, making the serious staffing situation far more even serious. So two competing issues here. We're dealing with not only the issue of enhanced security and screenings at airports, but we're also dealing with what Sean Duffy, as Transportation Secretary, is trying to tackle, which is revamping a system that he says is extremely antiquated and hasn't been invested in. Liz, you hear that tape. It's scary for most people.
Yes, we get very nervous when we hear those kinds of things. I will say I'm one of those people who gets on a plane, doesn't touch the outside of the plane. There are all these things that people do. Make sure you step on with your right foot, all these superstitions. That is so not me. I get in, I'm falling asleep, or where's the food? I need the peanuts. I will say that air travel is so incredibly safe. And I started to look at some of the latest odds. The odds of dying in a plane crash are 1 in 11 million. When you look at the odds of dying in a car crash, they go up exponentially. And I believe in our pilots. I always think pay the pilots. There are two people in your life you don't want to short, your pilot and your surgeon. Okay, you want the best people paid money to do the most important things, and clearly pilots and their expertise are incredibly
I think
valuable.
You're right on that, but they also say it's a very high pressure job, which is why some people steer clear of it because of these moments that you can see. And a period previously during the Obama administration where they said, let's be a little bit more lax about the standards for admitting people as air traffic controllers. I think what Sean Duffy in his expanded interview with Laura was trying to say was not only does the infrastructure have to change here, Dagan, but sort of the conceptualization about air travel and how it should look and who should be in charge of it and who these employees should be needs to change a little bit too.
And also, what are our priorities as a nation? Now, because I know they're two different things, the ID and the air traffic control outage, for lack of a better word. Now, the ID situation took 20 years, roughly, to implement because of the states. That's how it was handled through the departments of motor vehicles. So, but what is our priority here? Making sure everybody has an ID with a stamp on it?
Right.
Or ensuring that the radar doesn't go down in one of the busiest air travel hubs in the nation? So where's the focus? And I think that for decades, the focus has been off and blurry intentionally. And we only have to do a few things right. Tracking, if you're in when you're talking about federal transportation, and that would be tracking the airplanes in the sky. I think that would be at the top of the list.
Yeah.
And making sure the bridges don't collapse and the roads don't crumble.
Holy moly. Can we call Elon Musk tech support? Have him come in. Let's update that software system. I know Sean Duffy, the Transportation Secretary, just tweeting that a watchdog had warned about how outdated these systems were in the last administration. They didn't do anything. Let's pull in, and you guys know my stance on this. Could we ever privatize the You know how public companies go private? It allows you to take a year or two to develop a long-term growth plan out of the public eye, and then you could go public again if you need to. Could we privatize this, get better software upgrades, call in tech support, call in Doge, Elon Musk, and then if we wanted to be public, we could go public again? I don't know, something. But I think this has to change because I walked by Brian's office this morning, and the thought occurred to me, I was like, ooh, This is starting to feel like a really big business story because my parents texted me last night. My mom said, next week I'm supposed to fly into Newark. Do I need to change the airport? If you have people now starting to ask questions about that, my answer was, I don't think LaGuardia or JFK are that much better. We've heard all about the LaGuardia floods and the big shutdowns. So again, when it starts to impact, the airlines are already in some issues, as we've heard from them from earnings. If you're starting to have normal people question if this feels like a safe airport, it starts to become a consumer confidence story.
Would I just add one thing?
Yeah.
We nationalized the TSA after 9/11, so it was private. That's in part how the hijackers got on those planes.
Okay.
Because it was private, it was not overseen by the government. So under the Bush administration, we nationalized it. It was I think it was one of the only things that we've nationalized in recent decades.
I believe the floods at LaGuardia, there was a privatized piece to that.
Okay.
Now, some of the security at airports is run by private companies, depending on the airport and where it is. But broadly, we nationalized it then, so I can't imagine that we would privatize air traffic control.
FAA is different than that. I mean, Wall Street Journal points out Canada and other nations turned air traffic over to private nonprofit.
Gatwick in London.
Guess what? The FAA is not in the Constitution. So you could possibly do it privately if, when Congress tells them in 2003 to upgrade their systems, and they say, sure, we'll have that done by 2030. You're probably not getting the job done. Maybe there's a better way to do it.
They're still using floppy disks.
Yes.
So there are some things that we can do, I think, almost immediately.